We're back. Happy New Year, 2026. Hello, Munchkins, and welcome to the Alova Chat podcast. You're here with just Arena. No Alan, he's on vacation. No Agnesa, she's got an exam. So it's just me by myself talking at you. Happy New Year, 2026, guys. Let's make it our year. So we thought that I'm not schizophrenic. I thought that I'd come on here and share what I'd do differently if I were to start again. So, kind of answering general questions on how to start your fitness journey. I have a few here. I'm going to work around them. Bear with me, I've not done a solo episode like this where it is actually advice because I've just spoken about my personal experience. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll make it work. Far too much waffling. Let's get into it. So, number one, who is this episode for? This is for those of you who have either taken a long break from training and don't really know where to start because you kind of left it up in the air, or those of you who have picked a New Year's resolution as to start the gym and don't really know where to start because I know that online there is a lot of conflicting information, and yes, we're probably adding to that, but hopefully it will help clear some stuff up for you. Number two is, what is the very first thing that you'd focus on if you were starting again today? Honestly, I would say just show up anywhere, whether that is you're doing at-home workouts to begin with. Just show up, do it. If you are going to the gym, just get to the gym and get used to being in that kind of environment. Get used to having your mind focused on training or working out. If you are going for a run, just show up, even if it is, 2 kilometers. It doesn't have to be long. The first thing I would focus on is showing up. That is the most important thing because that is what's going to build consistency in the long run. It doesn't have to be extensive periods of time that you're going to the gym for. You don't need to be at the gym for like 3 hours at the start because you're just going to burn out. You're not going to enjoy the process. Yes, don't get me wrong, I enjoy going to the gym for that long, but to begin with, you're just going to get tired and you're going to get burnt out and it's not going to be worth it. So I've said this already. Show up. That's all you need to do. Get there, get something done, even if it is 5 minutes, and slowly build that habit. And then it can be longer and longer. And you can actually then start training for a goal. And that actually leads very smoothly on. I didn't plan this, guys. Do I need a goal before I start? No. You can just start for the sake of starting, just to get fitter. Yes, having a goal helps you be more structured and helps you have more of a plan and things to work towards. And I do think having a goal does help with motivation when your motivation drops. However, you do not need a goal to start. Just having the goal of you want to go to the gym is enough as it is. What I would say though is, as you do start going, maybe you're a month in, maybe do think about having some sort of thing to work towards. For example, is that to lose X amount of weight? Is that to lift Y amount of weight on the squat? Or do you want to do it for aesthetics? Do you want to build muscle in certain areas? Is that your quads? Is that your biceps? Depending on who you are. There are other things, of course, and I'm speaking purely about the gym. But it could be calisthenics goals. Do I want 5 pull-ups by this time? Or by this time next year? Do I want to compete? What do I want from my journey? Because after a while, yes, it's great just starting, not having a goal, but going. But what is your why? Why are you going to carry on? Because once you've started, that would be your goal complete, if that makes sense. How many times a week? You honestly don't need much. Even once is enough. I would say, I think it depends how much time you have, of course. I think the rule of thumb is about 3 to 4. For example, if you don't have enough time and you're doing full body workouts, 3 is more than enough. But if you're hitting different muscle groups, try to aim for more. Again, it's very dependent on your goals. But if you are just starting, once is enough. Then work it up. You don't need to start with 6 days a week. Intense. Whatever gets you in the gym, however many times you have, and however much time you have for that in the day. What do I start with? Honestly, it depends how new you are to the gym. I don't know if anyone suggested this before, but this is what I'd do. Is for the first few weeks, I'd literally go to the gym and see all the machines, all the cables, see what works best for me. What do I feel more comfortable with? Is it free weights? Is it, for example, the Smith machine or the machines? I would recommend, if you're a complete beginner, start with the machines because they give you a strict bar path and you don't need to have those stability muscles in place. But I don't recommend staying on them for a while because that's what I did. I think that's one of the mistakes I did, was I stayed too long on the machines because they were comfortable. Yes, you could progress on them, but they don't translate directly into free weights. Number 6, is it better to do short sessions consistently or long sessions occasionally? Like I mentioned, short sessions consistently. You need to build up your consistency. That is quite important because if you do long sessions occasionally, you're not going to see any progress that you want. You're going to get tired. You might start judging the gym because you spend so long there. Also, what is occasionally? It could be once a month or it could be once a year. Do you know what I mean? So, short sessions consistently, weekly, twice a week, 3 times a week, just getting that in, having the same stimulus. Number 7, what if I feel intimidated or out of place at the gym? It happens to everyone, but when I tell you, no one actually cares. No one cares. Yeah, people might look at you, but that's it. It's just a passing thought in their head. You're there to make yourself feel better, be healthier. Are other people's opinions really more important than how you feel and the life that you are building yourself? No. So, in slightly harsher terms, just suck it up. It is intimidating. I agree. I still get intimidated when I go to new gyms, but it's just something you have to do for your life because at the end of the day, those people who might look at you, and also you don't actually know what they're thinking, right? You're just assuming based on your own insecurities what they're thinking. So they could be thinking completely different. You could be doing something and thinking, oh, they're judging me so much, but they could just be like, oh, she's got a really nice outfit on. That's why they looked at you. You don't know what's going through people's heads. And it's a bit silly to assume. So why assume? Just do what you have to do. If you are really intimidated and you've not yet built confidence, starting at home helps. There's a lot of resources for at-home workouts. There are a lot of things that you can to build strength. You can start running. It doesn't only have to be the gym. You could start a sport where there is a coach. Maybe getting a PT can help because then there's someone, maybe going with a friend, someone who knows a bit more about the gym than you. That's the same with the PT, then they can guide you, they can help you be a bit more comfortable in the gym. Start with identifying what exactly it is that intimidates you. Is it what other people are going to think, or is it that you're just not confident with the machines? And then just try and work around that problem. What can you do to help mitigate that? For example, like I said, if it is just lack of confidence, maybe educate yourself about the different machines in the gym, the right technique, the form, get a PT, get someone that you know that does go to the gym to help you for the first few sessions. Ask people in the gym Everyone will help you. Yes, there are the certain few that won't, but most of the people in the gym will be more than happy to share their knowledge and expertise with you, so don't be afraid to ask. Number 8 is, do I need a program or a coach to start? No, you absolutely do not. It can help, especially if you have the lack of confidence. Unless you're working to a specific goal like a competition, even then you don't necessarily need a coach. It's just based on your preferences. I know that having a coach, especially if you are just starting, it is a big commitment because you're paying that money. There's a lot of resources online, right? There's YouTube, there's different podcasts, there's now different influencers who have like quad routine, glute routine that you can look at. You can see what works for you. And again, you can start at home. ChatGPT, yes, it's not ideal, but if you need a starting place, we spoke about this in another episode, if you need a starting place, then it is definitely a place where you can start. Ask it to write you a program. But what I'd say the most important thing is that once you've got the exercises, don't overdo it. You just start with the basics, whether that is squats, RDLs, bench press, shoulder press, bicep curls. You just need the basics. You don't need fancy exercises to progress. In fact, that's probably not going to help you progress in the long run. Yes, it will help tidy up some of the stabilizer muscles and the secondary movers, but the basics, that's where it's at. Pick a few, don't overdo it in the session. Do 3-4 is even enough, and just keep building on that every week. Overload progressively, so that means either increasing your weight each week ever so slightly. You don't need to increase it by like 10k. I can't speak. You don't need to increase it by 10 kilograms, but increasing it by the little 1.25 plates, more than enough. Doing an extra rep the next time, maybe doing an extra set, just depending on, but make sure that you do progress, because otherwise you're just going to plateau and you're going to think, why aren't I progressing, when you're doing the same thing each time, and it's just going to be exhausting you and you're not going to make any progress. With that being said, I use an app called Heavy to track your outputs. It's a bit like Strava, but for lifting, and it helps you log the exercises that you do. And also, what it does is, the next week, say you put in the same exercises, it will give you the weights that you did last time, so you know that you can improve. It gives you the sets and the weights. You can add notes. You can make it into a superset, a drop set, a warm-up set. It's very helpful, and you can share with your friends, which is good accountability if that's what you need, which actually goes very well into number 9, is how to stay consistent. Accountability is probably one of the biggest things here. So having an accountability partner, having some sort of tracker that releases some sort of dopamine once you do the tick. So you could have like a sheet or like a calendar, and doing like a tick by your gym session, also reflecting on what went well and the positive impact that the gym gave you also helps, because then it starts to establish a very positive connection with the gym. I mentioned accountability, so that could be the app, that could be a person. More times than not, a person that is your accountability partner will work better than apps, because there's emotion involved, so it's almost like you're disappointing that person. Also, again, making it small. Even if you're not feeling it, go to the gym for half an hour is enough to keep you consistent and to keep you going. And number 10 is one simple nutrition focus for beginners. I've got two. I'll give you two. Number 1 is prioritize your protein. If you're going to the gym, you're lifting more, protein is going to be a key driver in your performance, in your muscle mass, and also in satiating your hunger. And number 2 is focusing on whole foods. You've probably all seen the 80-20, not all of you. It's a big I don't even know how to call it. It's not a big thing, but it's the whole 80-20 concept where it's 80% whole foods and 20% other. That's going to help you in the long run. Having whole foods not only satiates you more, makes you feel better, and makes you look better. So why wouldn't you? It's better for your health. And you might not like eating vegetables and fruits, but eventually your body will grow to crave them because that is what your body needs. It doesn't need junk food. I can't lie, this is a very short episode. I don't know what's going on. It's very weird without Odessa, especially with because technically it'd be double because we'd be going back and forth. So this is a very sped run thing. It's probably going to be about 15 minutes, if that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you here with what's a biggest mistake to avoid. I'd say is starting too aggressively, too quick. Start small, build up, because starting big and decreasing, you're going to be demotivated. It's not going to help you in the long run. It's just going to switch your mind off. You're going to not like training in the gym. You're going to burn out. So starting small and then building up is the best way to go. Anyways, I don't know what's happened. I don't have anything else to say. But comment down below if there are any more questions. Maybe we can do a part 2. We can get the child back on. In a few weeks' time, we can rerun this episode. But like I said, she has an exam. There's not much I can do. So hopefully this was slightly helpful, slightly useful. And hopefully you can take something away from this. I feel like I've repeated myself quite a lot, but I hope that there's something of substance. Anyways, Happy New Year once again, and we will see you next week. Bye, Munchkins.